Hi everyone, this is Nisha, and with me are Ashwati and Kevin. It is the OG3. And the headline of this week is also still somehow the Monaco GP because it looks like F1 has got themselves into a labyrinth of a regulatory mess. I genuinely thought Monaco was over. It is my least favorite race. But then Pierre Gasly finished third in Monaco, and then he didn't finish third in Monaco, and then he did again. So, Kevin, can you just explain this to me?
Okay, so basically, Gasly got two penalties for speeding in the pit lane, and that dropped him down the order, right? That's where we're
Correct.
at. Alpine appealed. The FIA looked at the
Mhm.
data and realized that there was an issue with the timing system.
Mhm.
Classic FIA.
Mhm.
I explained this perfectly in the Barcelona episode, so maybe go check that out. But
Yep.
the FIA decided that the penalty needs to go away, and Gasly got his podium back.
So Gasly didn't serve the penalties
Yeah.
during the race, so then
Yeah.
they were added towards the end, and then
Yes.
the FIA was like, "Forget about it," right? So.
Yes.
What happens to the people who actually did serve their penalties during the race? I am personally affected by this because Oscar, George, I guess. But why should they be penalized because of a broken system?
Yeah, so this feels like a very trolley problem kind of situation. Uh, like letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. Like, yes, the system is
Mm-hmm.
broken. They need a better way. Yes, but the fact is, and I mean, Oscar and George and the others, should not be punished either. But the fact is that they got the penalty, they served the penalty, and there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
to undo. But
Yeah.
and Gasly and I think Colapinto, they didn't serve the penalty. So there's some. Isn't it worse that there was something that could be done, but it's still not done because it could be unfair to other people? Like there was still an opportunity to correct that mistake with Gasly and Colapinto. So I feel like it should be like considered as separate events and not under the same umbrella, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. And yes, the
Mm-hmm.
system needs fixing, but I don't think Gasly should suffer because of a broken system. It is unfair.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
unfair for Oscar and the others. I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
Yes.
bit of yeah,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I'm
see, the thing
not
that's there is
100%
especially, like teams like, Oscar and, like George, like Merck and McLaren. If there is a way to get something done, they will, go to the ends of the earth to get it done, right? So
You would
I,
think because
yeah,
Mercedes appealed that initially for George, and then they
mhm,
were like, like Alpine did, Mercedes appealed it, and then they
yeah,
were in a couple of days they were just like, you know what, it's okay.
I
And
I mean,
yeah, I
yeah,
get the practicality of it. It's not a
yeah,
fight worth fighting with the
yeah.
cost, the appeals, and the process. But on the
yeah,
other end, if it was Kimi and Toto, like he would be
Mm-hmm.
in the face of every journalist just
Exactly.
ranting with
And
fun.
the reason I agree, and the reason we're talking about it this week is because Red Bull and McLaren have appealed this process with
oh,
the FIA International Court, not with the
oh,
FIA, not with the FOM. They were like, we are taking this
Yeah,
outside,
yeah. It's very
right?
rare.
So
directly,
yeah, it is rare because they're like, listen, this is not okay. Like the rest of us served the penalties and we're getting punished.
yeah,
You do what you want with Gasly, fine. But that cannot be the system because now going forward, if you have a similar thing, like
Yeah,
because Kevin, you mentioned this in the Barcelona episode. It's not like they suddenly forgot to
yeah,
press the pit lane button, right? The
of
drivers
course,
can't forget that.
yeah,
But at the same time, so then obviously the system is broken. So then what does that mean? If they discover something like this in the next race,
they
can
like
they then just
exploit
be
it.
like, don't serve the penalty, we'll appeal it later?
It'll be a
yeah,
whole strategy, right? We'll, deal with the
yeah.
stewards later and then at least for
Exactly.
Monaco next year. So let's see what they do with it because
It's kind of like
having
I
this
feel like they're
system,
setting a precedence right now where it's like, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, kind of a thing,
at least for
Exactly.
right?
Monaco, like I don't think it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
a very wide issue that it's going to affect a lot of the other races. I think it's an edge case. There's no reason to like ring the alarms and stuff. It's an issue specific to Monaco. But if things like this crop up, then it's a whole new strategy, right? How do we
Mm.
manage the stewards later? And then the race is on that.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
the system that's there, when it comes to appeal and everything like that. Essentially, what we're doing is, as much as you say that this is an edge case that's applicable only to Monaco, right? Like a lot of things when it comes to the law, the use cases can be interpreted in different ways also. So you might find this example being
In
used to
another,
justify something else
no,
later.
no.
You get it?
Yep.
Okay,
Because
you
this
can,
is
sorry,
essentially. പറഞ്ഞോ.
you can like redo that. I didn't say edge case only for Monaco, like it's edge
Mhm.
case in general, Monaco being an example. There could be
Yeah,
more
yeah.
that come up, but
Yeah.
still lesser in number.
Yeah, because right now, essentially, what they've done is they've, in front of everybody, a sporting authority has shown that their decisions are not full and final. You get it? So much later into a timeline, right?
Yes.
We are so used to racing taking place, and what would be a review that would happen by stewards as the race was going on is now pushed to
Yep.
after the race is done. We got
Yep.
used to it. Now it is getting to a point where, take some time, come back after a week,
Yeah.
then we will give you a decision.
Yeah.
As viewers, you're essentially like going ahead and there's no value for your words as an authority at that point, and for something that is as fast paced as motorsports, your decisions cannot take this much time. You
And
get
there's
it to
no
be
Agreed.
full and
reason
final.
for it too. Like at least for this
Yeah.
pitting
Exactly.
incident, you have all the information you need. You have all the data.
Exactly, absolutely.
What are you checking for weeks and weeks? So it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Formula One teams are basically discovering that lawyers are faster than pit stops, right? And honestly, this whole thing feels like a very post Michael Massey Formula One, right? We, like you said, Kevin, we tell fans that, hey, whoever crosses the line is the first who wins the race. But every few months, we're adding one asterisk, like, unless there's a last minute penalty.
Unless there is an appeal,
Unless
Yeah.
there's an appeal of the appeal.
unless the FIA discovers an issue with the rules.
my
Unless
God.
somebody finds a document that was filed like 14 minutes and 32 seconds before another document.
Okay. Before this gets more chaotic and MBS sends snipers to our houses, this is F101.
Your friendly neighborhood F1 podcast.
That doesn't gatekeep but overshares.
Race updates, meme, and technical stuff.
Hola, amigos. Let's talk Barcelona. I'm gonna get slapped by some Spanish person. Sorry, Carlos.
Not forced. It gets cancelled.
But let's talk about the highlights and heartbreaks of the race. Ashwati, I'm sure you have lots to talk about the race. So why don't you start with your highlights and heartbreaks?
I think like it's a true privilege of being a Ferrari fan, having, to go through the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows all within this same race. Like my highlight, of course, Lewis Hamilton, maiden Ferrari victory. Hearing that Italian national anthem always makes me, feel good. I love the environment. I love him being so embraced by the Tifosi and the Ferrari team and top masterclass racing. Not even like class.
Yep.
Total class. I love that. I love what that means for the team. I love that they're listening to Lewis, taking
Yes.
his feedback seriously, which is great. I like seeing that. On the other hand, Charles, I mean, it just as the season progresses, as I think Kevin also the last episode, like my heart just breaks more and more. I
I
mean,
know.
it's just a combination of bad luck,
Yep.
minor errors, and just a car and the team. And it just feels
Yep.
like he's the prince of Monaco, and his story is now moving in the direction of Ricardo, the prince that never became king.
Oh
And
no.
I don't want that for him. I want him to win. While I love
Yep.
Lewis and I love Ferrari,
Yep.
but I've been following Charles's journey since I started watching like 5, 6 years ago. So super invested, and I really, really hope he changes his season. in the next few races.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's this one video that Ferrari posted, and it's like Charles answering questions or something like that. And like
Yeah.
one of the questions was, "Hey, if Charles wins this season, I'm gonna ask my girlfriend out, and no, I'm gonna tell my this girl that I love her."
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Charles goes, "Just please, if you love her, tell her because whether I win or not, please tell."
Oh, God.
And like all the comments below that are like, "Man who thought he lost all hope loses even
more
more
hope."
hope."
He'll come back. I mean,
But yeah,
he's been so
Yeah.
optimistic. It's hard to seem
it's
like this, but
crazy.
he's just been, we've seen worse. We'll get through this. I'm excited
Have
for the update. Let's see.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like Charles is like Delulu Max, and that's the only way you
You have
can
to
you
be.
can be in Ferrari.
Yes.
So yeah. But yeah, Kevin, what about you?
What are
Highlights,
your,
heartbreaks
what
for
are Kevin's
Barcelona.
update?
Yeah. So for me, like, I mean, before that, I just want to say, so, Ashwati, do you know the art of kintsugi? Okay, which is this Japanese
Mm,
art of putting things together,
yes.
right? That
Mm-hmm.
is broken. So you talked about your heart. Was Lewis winning that gold application that you put on
Yeah.
it that made that bowl just shine so much more beautifully?
That's
It was
exactly what it
until I
was.
saw, until they panned to Charles and his face, and I'm like,
Then it
no.
broke some more.
Yes,
Basically,
it
it
broke
broke at
some
an
more.
atomic level. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, but
It's
no,
enough.
but I'll tell you something to cheer you up. Okay, this might be good news, and this is my highlight personally because I know we're all going to talk about Ferrari,
Mm.
but
Mm-hmm.
car 44 set the fastest lap of the race on lap 44. That was my
Oh
highlight
yeah,
personally.
that's
Right?
pretty
Yes.
cool. That is pretty cool. But what about your
Yeah.
heartbreak?
So, I mean, for somebody who's it's going to be Kimi who's going to win the race in all my predictions, at least most of the recent ones. It
Yeah.
seems like only one Makar can finish in the points in at least the recent races, and it
Man,
hurts.
Yeah, it's been
it
tough.
hurts.
Right here.
Yes, it does. It does.
One
One of
here.
these places
Yeah.
Gas.
in your
But
In your
in
kidney. It hurts here.
in my my
hurts
NCR
here.
region. Yeah. But what about you, Nisha? What are your highlights and heartbreaks?
My highlight of the race, of course, it's Lewis. It is to do with Lewis, but
Right.
it is the fact that the interview, like at the podium, was done by Nico Rosberg,
Oh.
who is getting like Vietnam flashbacks in Barcelona. He's looking at the corner where he crashed into Lewis and asking Lewis, "So how was your race? Don't hit me." I thought that was hilarious. And my heartbreak, amongst Lewis's haters, there's only two people, Nico Rosberg, and
I
the
don't
other
think
one is
I don't think Rosberg
no,
is beater.
not anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like at the time, there was a point in time
Yes.
where
Yes.
Nico
Yes.
was ready to
Infamous.
slap him.
Yes.
Similarly, there was a point in time in 2007 when Fernando Alonso was ready to murder Lewis Hamilton.
Oof.
And the fact that this in Barcelona, Fernando Alonso retired like randomly in the middle, causing a safety car, which then helped Lewis win
Yeah.
his first Ferrari win. Oh, Alonso must just be sitting there thinking, what did I do wrong? Who have I wronged in my life this much that this is happening to me right now? So yeah, that was
Epic.
Lewis's haters were my highlights and heartbreaks.
Yeah. Q2. Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere alone
Yeah.
and
You know-
bitterness.
The best part is that song fits for both Nico and Alonso.
Yes.
It's awesome.
How to save
two in one.
a life.
Wow. Nice. But let's head to Spielberg, Austria,
Yes.
home of the Red Bull Ring. It is a 4.3 kilometer circuit that's tucked away in the Styrian Mountains, surrounded by forests, farms, and enough Red Bull branding to keep that company running for another decade at least, right? We'll be racing there around 71 laps, but it just has only 10 corners, which makes it the shortest lap of the season. And it is one of the simplest looking tracks on the calendar.
Yeah, but that's exactly what makes Austria so deceptive. Like on television, it looks flat. In
Yep.
reality, it's more of like a roller coaster than a racetrack. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
so short. Qualifying is chaos because of all the traffic.
Yeah.
The race is also chaos because you could be in the front and like you'll have clean air, but surprise, all the back markers are bunching up in front of you.
If you want the full deep dive into the history of the circuit, the old Ostrike ring, all, all the famous crashes.
Did you just summon a demon? What was that?
That was the old name, man.
Okay.
But yeah, all the famous crashes. We've covered all of that in our Austria episode last season. But for now, I need to know, Ashwati, do you remember what the track looks like, and can you take us on a hot lap?
See, the Red Bull ring, I'm not going to call it any other name. It
Mhm.
obviously looks like Max's hand glued around a Red Bull can. And
Yep.
before I start the lap, I want to apologize to our Austrian fans because I'm going to murder some names.
Just
Oh,
that
by the
one
way, we
guy.
checked out the statistics
We-
and yeah, we have more fans. Where was it? In
Brazil and Mexico.
yeah.
Who are those
But-
people?
Some TikTok. I got some Mexico people on TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Whoa.
Okay, Ashwati, go into the hot lap.
So you blast uphill on the main straight towards the Niki Lauda curve, a fast right-hander. And that's the first thing you notice about Austria. The track is constantly changing elevation. You keep climbing as the circuit curls to the right and heads towards Remus curve at turn 3. This is the highest point of the lap and probably the biggest overtaking opportunity on the circuit. The heartbreaking part is now over and now the circuit starts flowing. Schlossskohl curve bends gently left before the track sweeps downhill through Roch and Worth curve. That's the section which feels like the inside curve of the hand holding the can. The track continues downhill as you flick through a quick left and then build confidence for Rindt curve, a fast sweeping right-hander. One final right-hander at turn 10, Red Bull Mobile, and you're back on the throttle, launching onto the main straight with the mountains opening up right in front of you. And that's Austria. But you might miss the whole thing now because it's going to be covered with a bunch of orange smoke, even though I think they're definitely not allowed to bring, but they will 100% bring.
Oh my god.
Mm.
I tell you, these Max fans, like every time I see that smoke, my asthma just kicks in. But also, if anyone is interested in attending any GP, this is the one GP where you can actually get by with general admission tickets. You don't need to get grandstand
Yeah.
tickets. Because everywhere else you need to have a grandstand ticket if you want to see properly. But this one you can just like chill in the grass, have a picnic, because you can see large portions of the track and also those amazing mountains as backdrop. So, I mean, if you like cricket, it's kind of like the Dharamshala Stadium of
Yeah.
F1.
Yeah, and because of the 700 meters of elevation, the air is
Mhm.
like super thin, which makes the
Yep.
car act up as well. Like it's less aerodynamic grip and less room for error. Especially like some of the downhill braking zones,
Mm-hmm.
this means the tires like slipping away from you.
Yeah, yeah. And before we do predictions and stuff like that, like things are heating up. We're in race 8 and all the teams are bringing a lot of focused
Yeah.
updates and upgrades. So Barcelona usually provides a lot of good information to the team because it's like a very typical track. So they must be using that information to bring upgrades for the next couple of races as well.
So Ferrari is bringing another round of upgrade, pretty major.
Mhm.
Thank you, ADUO. It
Yes.
includes a new shell fuel,
Mhm,
with
mhm.
the benefits they got from ADUO, and
Yeah.
after I think some part of it was also given to Lewis Hamilton in Barcelona, and we saw the effect. So I'm excited to see how things go. I mean, like we have some momentum now, and unfortunately, this means we have hope, which is a dangerous thing for us Ferrari fans, because now
Mhm.
from planning for 2027, we're now at the space where we're like, maybe can we championship
Of course, of
something?
course.
Yeah.
So that's
Man.
let's see how it plays out.
Yeah. Red Bull is also bringing upgrades to their home race. Like from everything that we've heard, expectations are being managed pretty carefully. Like they've got a
Yep,
version
yep.
of the Macarena wing in
Mm.
Miami,
Yeah.
and they're trying to bring a few more modifications to make the car a little bit lighter. So maybe we could see an appendix surgery. But Austria has traditionally been one of Red Bull's like strongest circuits. So if they're going to make gains anywhere, this would be the place to do it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I like how wildly different both of you have hopes on the teams. But yeah, the team that I'm most worried about though is Williams, because they absolutely sucked in Austria last year. Alex Albon has already given up this year. I mean, we all drank from that James Vowles Kool-Aid, right? Like, we knew that, oh my God, they're gonna like podiums, this, that, whatever. And somehow they're sitting 8th in the Constructors' Champion. And like, I mean, we were all forecast an Albon or Sainz podium, right? So tell, where? James, please tell that. Where is the P. James magic show? That's like
As
deep cut
a
for someone who's lived in Chennai.
as a Williams and the greatest man alive, Carlos Sainz, subject matter expert, I am
Yes.
also very, very deeply disturbed by the Williams performance. Like
Yeah.
he's saying all the right things. You have a great driver pairing. You have you're saying all the right things. Strategy looks okay. Everything looks okay. But give something
Where?
like you have the Mercedes engine, but like what? How are
Yeah.
you using it? Like there's something going horribly wrong. Because
Yeah.
the first few races you were like, yeah, okay, it takes time, new regulations, but other teams are picking up. Other midfield teams are like learning and growing. I don't see like any
Yes.
kind of progress for Williams. I'm not saying
Yeah.
get podiums tomorrow, but I'm saying like show growth, learn from your mistakes,
Yeah.
and sort of breaks my heart now to see the blue car and to see
Yeah.
Carlos driving it. But let's see where it goes.
Yeah. The thing is, Williams last year, actually for many years now, has been known for their straight line speed. I feel like even that is gone. Like, what happened to the upgrades and things that you made so far? So yeah, I'm very disappointed. And you're right, there are other midfield teams that are doing better. Even
Of course.
Cadillac is bringing
Yeah.
upgrades in Austria, right? I mean, I know that
I
they're
mean,
the only team left to score a point and all that, but like,
yeah.
That's fine. They're trying. I mean,
This is literally like just a learning year for them, right?
exactly.
Weirdly, it's a learning year for Aston Martin also, right? Learning
God.
about spinal injuries. So, I mean, you would expect Cadillac to bring in some upgrades because they have the money rolling in, especially because it's year one, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like you said, I had very high hopes on Williams, and I really wanted them to relive their glory years from before.
Yeah.
And I saw a glimmer of hope, like I saw the
Same.
promise that he brought to us, but I realized that, like with all things in life, they're optimizing everything in the back end, which is what they did, and we started seeing the effects. Correct? I feel like now they've run into like a little bit of a cash flow issue. The reason why I say that is
Maybe.
all of your other teams either sell sports drinks or sell vehicles, or I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I'm not saying that Ferrari is selling you, but sister
Yeah,
concerns and
yeah.
everything like that, right? Everybody has something. Some
But
people
they
have
have.
oil supporting them and James Bond,
I'm
but
not. I'm not sure.
like
They have a
who
bunch
does
of
Williams
flaws.
have? Williams
They're
don't
Yeah.
sell
flawed.
cars.
They
They
only
sell
have flawed.
dreams.
They have
Actually,
anthropic. And they have a bunch of fresh money after their performance
Oh,
last year.
Yeah.
They got lots of new
Actually,
sponsorship.
they
I
but
don't
they
think
the
it's
did.
a
thing
cash
is,
flow
see,
issue.
you've got to understand where do you want to put that money to? Do you want to put that money into a year that you're not doing good, or do you want to take the learnings from this year, put the money
I
into a
don't
better
think
car
this.
for next year?
This is now hindsight, right? I don't think they entered the year thinking they're not going to do well. I think they entered the year thinking they're going to
Dude,
bring the fight to the
Everybody
third.
entered
they
this year thinking
Yeah,
that
so
they were
it's
not
so,
going to do
one
well.
so they
one
Nobody had
invested
any
the
expectation.
Williams specifically entered this year being
yeah.
like 100 kgs heavier than everyone
Yeah.
else. Not
Yeah.
100, but whatever. I'm
Yeah,
exaggerating
yeah.
to make a
Yeah.
point.
It could be,
Yeah.
But
might as well be 100. Doesn't make a
yeah,
yeah.
But
exactly.
then thankfully in the middle of
So
the season, Ozempic came in and,
Maybe
they were able to kind of shed some of the
maybe the
pounds. But
cost correction maybe
Yeah.
the correction
Yeah,
cost
yeah. It's
more than they predicted.
I genuinely like right now. I personally don't have any expectations on them because they have pedigree from time spent in the sport.
Mm.
This is a learning year for them. If they get
No,
something, they'll take it.
I refuse to accept it as a learning year, which means Williams cannot improve this year. So I refuse that premise. It
No,
doesn't work
that's
for
what
me.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
No,
saying. If they get
no.
something, they'll be happy and they'll.
No, it breaks the premise that Williams is here to do some major change. We are not
Yes.
learning. We are not a small team growing. We can do so much more.
Ashwati is still very much drinking from the James Vowles
Yes.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and
No,
literally,
before-
if you
before
turn
Kevin-
around the mug, it literally has on the labels in the ingredient list, it says copium, 100%.
Before
Right?
before Kevin,
So to be fair, if anyone is having a learning year, it should be Cadillac. So I really hope that, like, with all the updates that they're bringing for the sake of Perez, for Bottas, my baby cousin who works in GM, I really hope that Austria is the place for their fortunes to turn and at least score 1 point. Just one.
Just 1 point because we called it out on the F101 podcast, number one podcast for Cadillac supporters. Please send us some merch. We will wear
I
it.
have a hat. I have a hat somewhere.
Okay, Cat in the Hat, relax. We don't have anything. Kerala and Canada, the two Ks that matter. Please send us something. Love you guys. I'm dyslexic, but yeah. Let's
Ashwati,
roll away from that
Please
topic.
save us. Yeah, please save us.
Yes,
Talk about
yes.
tires or something.
so the tires, we have the softest set of tires for this race. C3,
Mhm.
C4, and C5. Abrasion and degs pretty mid-level, but we'll see
Yeah.
a lot of heavy downhill braking, and of course,
Yep.
it's going to be super sunny. Europe is
Mhm.
experiencing a heat wave, which is basically a mild Indian winter, but a heat wave for Europe. But the hills should be around
Yeah.
32 degrees max. Not too bad. Sunny weather.
Not too bad. Not too bad. So I think we have enough information. Lady and gent, let's do podium predictions.
Okay. I'm going to say Max P1. Just Austria,
Oh.
it just feels right. Max
Mhm.
P1. I am going to say Kimi P2.
Okay.
Unless
Okay.
they do like a last year thing where they take Kimi takes him out.
Take each other
Kimi
out.
P2.
Mm-hmm.
And I've decided something. In my final act of love, I'm going to put Charles Leclerc on all my podiums for the rest of the season. So P3 Leclerc.
Manifesting. She's manifesting for it.
Wow. You gotta love
Okay.
it. You gotta love it. Okay, so for
Nisha,
me,
okay.
I learned from I spent some time at the beach this weekend and I saw
Mm.
that the fishermen were throwing a very wide net. So I realized that maybe that's something that I should do. So rather than
Okay.
giving you a driver, I'm going to bring down the chances of me getting it wrong by telling you teams. Okay?
No.
But there will be logic. There will be logic.
Waiting. One that I'll say, no, only 4 top teams. Or 3
Tell-
out of 4 you'll say.
Okay,
Him,
okay,
driver.
okay.
Tell driver.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell
Put
you
your
what.
net back and play.
Okay. Okay. Red Bull's got an upgrade package. They're at home. I want to see orange. Max Verstappen. Number one.
Oh.
Numero
Mhm.
uno.
Mm-hmm.
Onna.
Mm-hmm.
Wahad. Ek. Everything. All of the above. Okay. In French for all you French fans. Okay, so we've got Red Bull, number one. Ferrari will be up there. I want to say Hamilton because he's got that mojo back. So
Mhm.
maybe. I want this to happen because I want to see Max and Hamilton fight. That's why I want it to happen. Number 3 is going to be a sneaky Mercedes. It's going to be the one driver that we all know has the pedigree to do it and that the team cares about. The one true championship winner,
The true
possibly.
son.
The true son, the porridge prodigal son, Kimi, Ant-Man, Antonelli, number 3.
Nice.
What about you,
Nice.
Nish? What about you?
Okay. I'm gonna go George P1.
Mm.
Copium Hopium Max, because I cannot believe what like bad luck he's having. I really want that boy. Like he's still my 2026 champion. I think
Yeah.
he's still going to make it. So, P1, George Russell. P2, Charles Leclerc. And P3, Oscar. Because, like Ashwati, I am also manifesting podium for that boy. I don't care. I'm going to put him P3 every single time. So, yes,
Yeah.
that's my podium.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
love
Uh,
how our podium predictions are very like
Vastly different.
emotionally driven over the data of
Yeah.
the heart. We are heart data people.
we, I think we initially, like our first couple of podium predictions, were like, you know what? Let's look into the data. Let's look into who won last year. Now
Yeah.
we're just like,
Yes.
no, my heart said. But yes,
My mom wore a red sari today, so I'm going with Ferrari, guys.
Ferrari.
Next is Vastu data. We'll have like
Yeah.
Oh my
I'll,
god, I'm gonna bring tarot
that-
cards. It is almost time for the Americans to celebrate Independence Day, which can only mean one thing: Silverstone weekend. And it is a sprint weekend, so that's going to be exciting. Stay tuned for an episode next week as well. If you like this episode, follow, subscribe, and share with a fellow F1 fan or someone you'd like to bring over to this dark side. If you have predictions or hot takes, please find us on Instagram and on TikTok. The link is in the description. We are building a community and we're very, very happy, very desperate to have you join us. We will see you all on the next episode of F101.